lovies, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you 3 wreaths from the Dollar Tree. That's right, we're going to make 3 beautiful wreaths for you guys using all Dollar Tree products except for 2 hoop rings that came from Michael's. The bestie came over today and we decided to craft, and our craft of choice was beautiful wreaths for front door glam. The supplies that you're going to need to make the hoop wreath is wire, and I suggest you use wire instead of hot glue, and of course wire cutters. You're also going to need quite a bit of ribbon depending on how many loops you want in your bow, but 3 should do. They're 9 foot each. This is the only thing that did not come from the Dollar Tree, and that is the hoop wreaths. They're about $2 and some odd change at Michael's. And then of course you're going to need floral. If you want to make a weeping looking wreath, you need kind of weeping looking plants. And I found that these, I have no idea how to pronounce that, seem to be the best, and the wisteria. Also ferns and any bright greens would work as well too. And then what I did is I cut them with my wire cutters at the first knuckle because I wanted to keep my sprigs together so that when I put them in bunches, I could just wire them all together so that they're one big bunch. So as you can see, they stayed together and I cut them right at the first knuckle. After you get all of the ends cut off, it's time to put your bunches together. So what I did is I took each color of whatever kind of flower that is. If anybody knows how to pronounce that, amethyst or something like that, please put it down below because I'm having trouble with that. But I did purple and white, and then I did pink wisteria. And then I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to twist them together. And I'm taking more wire than I will need because I'm going to twist them all together in a bunch, but I'm not going to use the whole length of that wire. I'm just going to twist them together until they're secure. And then I'm going to use the rest of that wire to secure that bunch of floral to the wire wreath. So what I'm doing here is I'm just looking for that sweet spot on the wreath that I know once I place my little bunch of floral there and I wire it to the wreath that it will have like a cascading effect. So once I find that sweet spot, I just take the remaining bit of wire, which you can kind of see sticking up from the bunch of floral, and I just securely wrap it the whole way around the wreath. And then I'm going to make another bunch with the same amount of floral, which is 2, which is purple and white of the other kind of floral, and 1 of the wisteria, and secure it on the other side so that you have 2 exact bunches of floral on each side of your large hoop ring. So here I am again, just securing my large amount of floral together with wire, and then you'll see I'll leave a decent portion left behind, like a little quote-unquote tail, and then I'll take that tail and attach it to the hoop ring. And here I'm just showing you I made like an X with the floral. See how they kind of like crisscross at the top there, and then I'm just going to secure them both together to the ring, and that will securely hold them in place. And then what you're going to see me do from here is I'm going to find like a little spot a little further down in the floral and just take a few pieces and secure it to the hoop ring as well, so that it causes the floral, instead of sticking straight out, to kind of cascade down the hoop to follow the round portion of my hoop ring so that they don't stick straight out. And you don't need to do this to all of the floral because that'll make it like really bunched together. Just a couple pieces and it'll pull the rest down with it. And then you fluff it back up over that little piece of wire and you can't even see it, and it makes a perfect cascade. Next, I'm going to be taking my ribbon, and what I'm going to do is, because it's 9 feet, I'm cutting I think it's 9 strips of 10 inches. And then my first strip of my 10-inch ribbon, I'm making my hoop to be able to hang this on the door or your door hangers or however you're going to hang this, even on a wall, it would be beautiful. And all I do is I take my hot glue gun and just attach the pieces at the top, and it makes a perfect little hoop to be able to hang this wherever you so choose. It's going on the back of my door. So now I'm going to begin to cut my ribbon, and again, I'm taking about 9 strips, 10 inches long of each kind, which is the gingham, and then I also have a black polka dot kind of ribbon as well. And what I'm going to be doing here is I want a very like droopy or weepy bow to kind of go well with my weepy kind of floral. So I want it very heavy, very full, very thick, and I figured ribbon would be the best way to achieve that instead of those big mesh bows, because the mesh have wire and they'll stand up, and I kind of want this to kind of droop along with the drooped over floral. I think that makes sense. So you're just seeing the process here of me cutting all of my strips. Now, once I have all the strips cut, as you can see, all I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun and I'm going to glue the ends together so that it makes a hoop, just a big hoop. Like, listen, you're doing a hoop ring, you might as well have hoop bow, right? So I'm just making hoops. So just take, this is the longest part of making this wreath, is cutting all the ribbon and gluing all of the ribbon together in hoops, because the hoops in turn will make the bows, which you're going to see me as I move forward. But let's glue all the ends together first. Now that I have them all together, as you can see, it's starting to look like a bow. And what I kind of did is I kind of pushed some up, some down, just so that you can see different dimensions of the bow. And then I'm going to put a dab of hot glue directly in the middle, and then I'm going to take more of that gingham style of ribbon and I'm going to place it right in the middle, and then I'm going to wrap it around to make the center portion of my bow, so that I know it's going to be tight, it's going to hold, and it's not going to come apart on me. And this part, like, this is one of the easiest bows to make in my personal opinion. It's just a little time consuming depending on how much ribbon you use. Now that I securely have my bow together and attached and hot glued, I'm just going to cut that little tail that was sticking off, and then I'm going to begin to assemble the tails that hang down below on the bow. So I'm going to take another 10 inches of the gingham and the polka dot ribbon and cut them the exact same length, so that when I fold them in half, it's like 5 inches on each side. Once I have that, I'm going to put them together. I'm going to line them up, make sure that they're like the perfect size and length. Once I have them together, I hope I lower my hands so you guys can kind of see. Yeah, I kind of twist them together right there like that so that the fronts of the ribbon will show on both sides. Then I fold that little piece back that I twisted together, put a little dab of hot glue and pinch it so that it won't move, so that when I glue that to the back portion of the bow, the front sides of the ribbon show on my tails. It's such a simple way to make a bow. It's many steps, but really and truly it's 1, 2, 3. So once I feel like that's secure and together, I'm just again going to put a dab of hot glue on the back portion of that bow and attach the tails. And then when the bow is flipped over front ways, it looks like the tails are in the front. It turns out perfect for me every single time. I love making bows this way. After a little bit of fluffing, we're just going to attach that bow to the wreath by hot gluing it to the portion of the ribbon that we attached to the ring to be able to hang on the door. You just hot glue it right on and it works perfect, and your beautiful weeping ring wreath is finished, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So moving on to our next Dollar Tree wreath, which is our Mardi Gras wreath. The supplies that you're going to need is a nice willow wreath, and I got the whiter ones instead of the darker ones. I just feel like it's more classier looking. You're going to need one of Dollar Tree's awesome masks. They have so many varieties and they're beautiful. So do they with the fans. You're going to need one of their fans, and you're going to need a pack of their 8 multicolored beads. And you're also going to need clip-on flowers, and I picked these beautiful like purple pink daisies. And again, you can make all of this your own colors. These are just the colors I chose. I really wanted like a purple, teal, pink kind of theme going on. Now the first thing you're going to do is you got to get your beads attached to your wreath. So I'm just cutting them out of the package, and the colors of course that I chose is the purple, the pink, and like a teal. The beads kind of look more green on camera than in person. They're actually a very pretty teal color, which happens to be my favorite. So once I get all of those snipped, I'm going to begin to wrap them around the wreath, going like in the same direction that the wreath seems to be made. See how the beads just kind of follow the same natural movement of the wreath? That's how I'm going to be wrapping the pink and the purple beads on this willow wreath. Once you have hot glued your beads in the back, you're going to take your next color, which for me is the purple, and I'm going to glue it in the direct spot that I stopped with the pink one, so that it naturally just kind of picks up right there. So I'm kind of creating like an ombre effect with my beads, and I'm just going to continue to wrap it up, wrapping it around, following the same motion and the same theme. And then when I reach the other side of the pink beads, I'll glue it in almost the exact same space again, so it looks like they stopped and started at the same place, as you can see. Now to add some interest to the wreath, I'm going to be taking these green beads and I'm going to wrap them the opposite way so that it makes a crisscross shape over the purple and the pink. And this particular pack of beads, they came with 2 greens, so I was really pleased with that because I needed to wrap the wreath completely. After you have your wreath wrapped with the pretty beads, then you need to find the perfect placement for your fan. I played around with this for a few minutes and took it off, took it on, laid the mask on top of it, just played around. And for me, I found that the perfect placement was kind of off to the side. And now that I'm taking the mask off, I'm just going to lay it over it and just kind of see where I wanted. So don't be afraid to play around, see what works for you. It took me a few minutes to figure out where I wanted it, but once I found that a quote unquote sweet spot, I just went for it. And to attach your fan to your wreath, I just glued it to the beads. You're just going to see me put some hot glue on the beads and then press. And the secret to this really is, guys, is to really keep pressure on it until you feel like it's fully dry. So I just held pressure on this for 2 minutes. I know usually hot glue doesn't take that long, but I wanted to make extra sure. And then I glued the other side the same way. I just put some hot glue on the beads and I pressed until I felt like it was overkill and I knew that it wasn't going to move. Also, because your fan is not going to extend the whole way out, you want to kind of pull it apart and find how it looks naturally pretty and open, and add some hot glue in between the creases, because when you bring the wreath to stand up straight to put on your door, the fan will want to close on itself, and then it looks awkward. It doesn't look like it's fully open. So just kind of play around with it, find the parts that need to come together or open up and kind of glue them together so that your fan doesn't move on your wreath and it stays together and it looks completely fanned open. And I just thought I'd throw a silly moment in here of me wearing the mask before I actually attach the mask to the wreath. This mask is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. See how it has an ombre effect to it as well. That's what I was trying to achieve, that look with the beads, so that it kind of all was copacetic with each other. I think this wreath turned out really, really pretty. And then once you find your spot for your mask, which mine was overlapping the fan, all I did was I used the lace trim that was on the mask and I attached the lace trim to the fan and the other side to the wreath itself. And again, I applied a generous amount of hot glue and I held it for longer than you probably should, just to make it was really secure. And then I went back in and I even put more hot glue in all the little creases, and the fan nor the mask moved. Then, to bring some pops of interest and color and texture to the wreath, I wanted to use these 2 pretty daisies. And again, I played with this for another 5-10 minutes. I attached them because they're only clips, which was great. I attached them clipped to the side. I didn't like it. Played it around with it a little bit more, and I decided one directly on the fan looked beautiful, and then one tucked up by the other side of the mask was my perfect placement for my little daisies. But again, if you want to recreate this, you place your daisies wherever you want, wherever it feels best for you. This is what I really liked, and I thought it was beautiful. So the first daisy, all I had to do was use some hot glue directly onto the fan, and the other daisy, because they're clipped, I just clipped it right onto the wreath, and it stuck and it stayed, and it looks beautiful in my opinion. I've never seen a wreath like this on YouTube. I'm sure they're out there, but I am so proud of this wreath, and I absolutely love it, and I've had so many compliments on it. Tell me what you guys think of my Mardi Gras wreath down in the comments. because my best friend Lisa came over and crafted with me, she too made a smaller weeping ring wreath, and this is hers. So you even get a bonus wreath. And guys, she made her wreath exactly the way I showed you how to make mine. She just used different floral and different ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to take care of you, always do what you love, stay crafty, and I'll be talking to you in the next one. Bye guys!